Hi everyone, I'm Lehar Khan, and today I have with me these beautiful ladies, my friends, who have met, on like in different times in my life, but together today we are together over here, and we all have connected over one thing that is one major thing that is feminism, and today we're going to talk about that over here. So before that, I'll introduce everybody. Mansi, say hi.
Hello everyone.
Prapti.
Hello.
Then I have Foram and
Hi.
and I have Sakshi.
Hi everyone.
Yeah. So I'm so happy. Thank you all for like joining me today, and I'm so happy that this is happening because we had these conversations in person separately, and we have so much to always say about this, and we have talked in detail so many things. But I think it's really important to be like out there. And today I'm really happy that because of this platform that we have where we like discuss together and be able to share it with so many people. So I'm super excited for this. So let's just get into it directly. So basically, what we have done is that, so we have asked this question even like from everyone, and this is basically that what Qaid stands for you, like. So it can be an experience that you would like to share. You can share any observation that you feel like that can connect you. But what is that one thing? Like if I ask you that what Qaid stands for you, it can be an experience you would like to share or anything. So a story or anything.
I gave it a thought and I was thinking about a moment in my life when I felt like literally caged. There have been instances in my life there has been some kind of discrimination, whether deliberate or non-deliberately. It happens, casual fixes at home, at school, at college. I have experienced those kind of things, but there was a certain moment in my life. It might not be that major for some people, but it actually left an impression on my mind. So because if I still think about it, it certainly, and like 3 years have passed, but I certainly think about it. So it has made an impact on my mind. So when I think of Qaid, I started shaking thinking about it. So 3 years back when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an example of literal Qaid. I was literally caged at a place.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first time when I was traveling alone. So that was I guess the first time that I took a metro. So I was taking metro from my home to college. That was a 1 hour ride, and it's a 1 hour ride. So I just boarded the metro and I found a vacant seat and I sat on it. Several stations later, there was an old man, old uncle. So I decided to offer my seat to him, and I didn't realize that it's a mistake that I offered my seat to him, because then I had to stand, and the other stations were I was traveling the yellow line, and if you might know that the yellow line is actually the most crowded metro in Delhi metro, and people just rushed in on Kashmiri Gate and Rajiv Chowk, and people just rushed in, and they were like pushing each other and everything, and that's understandable because people were trying to make it on time to their offices, colleges, etc. Even I was going to college, so I could understand that. But the problem started when the metro stopped. The Yellow Line metro is an underground metro which passes through a tunnel. And it happens sometimes that a metro stops and it stops for like 5 to 10 minutes and then it carries on. And I have had such experiences, but after 5 to 10 minutes, it starts going back to normal. That day, the metro stopped in a tunnel for an hour. And so we were like literally caged in that metro coach, and it was a mistake that I did not board the women coach, and I was in a normal coach, and I was just standing like this. I did not have any space to like even turn, and my mother warned me of the pickpocketer, so I was like holding on to my bag like this, and I was like, there might be some thieves, but what I was not prepared for the touching on my thighs and my waist, and I could feel the hands like creeping up on my thighs, on my waist. They were grabbing me. They were deliberately falling on me, and they were saying that पीछे से धक्का आ रहा है, and it was horrible. And I was made to feel like it's my fault to eye them as predators. And they were all like uncles in their 40s. And I was like looking at them and I was like, is it really happening? Are they really touching me, or is it because of the crowd? And what if I'm assuming something? They were making me feel like I'm assuming something because they're not doing anything wrong. But I could certainly feel those hands, and I had to push those hands away. I was like, "Please stop, like stay away." And then they'll give me a look as to what is wrong with you. And I had to stand there, witness it for an hour.
Okay.
And then whenever someone asks me why I don't take normal coach and why do I like constantly force them to take the women's coach, so I don't have like, every time I don't feel like I have to explain. This is like understood. And as the constitution also says that reservation of women coach is a positive discrimination because of these things. I've had stalkers on metro stations, and there's some kind of they can't invade my personal space if they are stalkers. I have met stalkers who have followed me, asked me random questions, but there's like I can ask them to stop from away. That time they were like in such a close proximity, like we could hear each other breathing, and they were like standing so close, and it was a painful experience. And I can't imagine to travel in a normal coach again alone. I guess I literally felt Qaid because I could not go away that day. It was like in a tunnel. There was like Andhera subject.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing the story. Okay. Anyone else?
Thanks a lot for sharing that story, Mansi. I mean, I'm so sorry that you had to go through it. And as women, I think, like both Foram and Sakshi pointed out, we have our protection ends up becoming the cage. It becomes the new normal, and we don't even realize that it's a cage. It just gets passed on as positive discrimination, but we also have to see that it is in a way sexism. It's a lower form of sexism because we don't teach our men to not behave in a vulgar way, but we teach our women to just remain safer, and that ends up reinforcing this kind of sexism. I think for me, while I have also felt caged or trapped in ways where I've had to like look after what I wear and think twice about wearing crop tops before going out and stuff, and not feeling that freedom in my own body to express it however I want. That feeling of trapped definitely has been there, but also with the people that I have been around, just in general, how toxic masculinity also works, how people can easily guilt trip you if you're not ready to do something with them. And especially as younger women, we want to be giving, and we don't realize that that's not the way it should be. And caged can also, that feeling of being caged can also come up with a person, and it takes years to realize that the person, that the cause behind or the reason behind feeling this way is because of a person.
So I genuinely wanted to ask this one thing, that as like all of us, we are feminists, and we have been pretty like out there about this. We have been pretty out loud about it. I wanted to know what's the story behind becoming a feminist, because the thing is that a lot of like where I come from is that I never had an experience through which I ever had to deal with to be a feminist or to become a feminist. I've had like everything at my place. My dad is a feminist. That's how we have functioned, But, like, so it's like a kind of a thing that people have in their head is that, feminist, that means you have gone through a lot of shit in life, or you have gone through a lot, that's the reason why you are. But that's not really true. So as much as I know you guys have really like, we have talked, but I really want you guys to share your stories of what was that triggered to become a feminist or to be out loud and speak about it.
So I think the thing you said, why I decided to raise my voice, like if you see me 2 years back, I was nothing like that. I never talked about this out in open, yeah, or with my friends. Like I've also heard this, ki, what have you become like? You've become so sensitive about these things. You were not like that. So I don't have any, like, I won't say this thing as a strong experience, but there was this thing. It was in 2018, and I had this group in college. We used to hang out and stuff, and I didn't know those guys like for so long. It's been 2-3 months that we've become friends, and I was dating one of them, and they were all three more guys. So we had this group kind of a thing, and whenever we have a free lecture, we just used to hang out. So one day I was just sitting, we were talking and all, and one of them, the friend, came to me and said, "Oh, your arms are not waxed. You better get it done before your boyfriend sees it." It's like, what? What did you just say? And at that time, for example, there were 10 people in the room, and 7 of them were laughed. They just laughed at all. And I was like, what did he just say and how to react? Everyone is laughing. I was supposed to react because it really offended me. It was not right. I mean, who are you to say that, right? And at that time, I was like, I didn't correct him. I didn't say anything. I just laughed it off with people and just left. I very awkwardly, I just left. And after that, I just distanced myself from those people. You know, I didn't really do anything about it. I never confronted them. I never talked to them. And but this is the thing I regretted the most. Like I should have said something. Maybe kya pata, you know, he would have said, "Ki, sorry, yaar, I didn't realize." Maybe he would have improved after that. You know, I had the chance of correcting someone, and I didn't. So the outcome could be anything. So then I decided I will not let anyone go now. I'll acknowledge everything then and there only. Bura lagega, kuch bhi hoga, I'll just say it. I'll not keep it in my mind. And even though people will say you're too sensitive about this, it's okay. I am. Just don't talk shit out in front of me.
Correct.
So yeah.
So yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Like you said, no, that the experience was, I don't know whether it was that big or that small, but that's what I'm saying, that these things are made on really small things that happen everyday basis, you know, and they're just so normal. Like they're just so normal now. Like you're just expected to laugh over them or just be okay with. So I feel like it's a great thing that even on, like, even if it's that, or even if it's joked by somebody, I think it's a really good thing that you started, you know,
Because
thinking
at
that.
that time I felt really helpless, you know. There was no one who would say that with me or something like that. So I just left. Then I felt really bad about it. Like I'm in college and these people are with me in college, and I just assumed that they will be like me and they will just understand. But it just burst my bubble that people are not like that. You don't know what's going on in their mind.
Yeah, correct. Nice. And Foram?
So it wasn't one experience. I mean, like, since you said, like, you know, feminism and equality is like, a, at like the way I grew up, there was no discrimination between my brother and I, or even maybe the kind of school I went to, I don't even remember much, so that's fine. But most of all, like, I think it's an amalgamation of the things you've seen as, you know, when you've been growing up. And like for me, it was more about finding a voice than you know, having these opinions, because I knew I had these opinions and feelings all along. But like the moment like I left school and, you know, I, like, you know, got out of my whole shyness, and, you know, I found the kind of people who I could speak up with, which is basically the entire poetry circuit. And at that point I realized that, you know, like I have these opinions, I have a place to express them, you know, why not just do it? And it came very naturally. Okay, when you see something wrong, you know, it just angers you. It's just like, if this is not right, I should say something. Like even if somebody I'm super close to says something, you know, vaguely sexist or something like that, I feel well within my rights as a friend and as a person who knows them to tell them, okay, this is wrong. So I think it's about finding a voice. It's been about that for me, and I think I found it pretty, like, you know, pretty early. I mean, considering the person I am. So yeah, it was about that.
Nice. Actually, I related to that a lot. So like, so what are the, even after, like after being, like, you know, voicing yourself up and everything, what are the challenges that you guys are facing, or you feel like that everyday basis, where there are small things that, you know, just make you feel like like even as a feminist, it's kind of, like kind of caging you so much. Like, okay, still like, I want to voice up, but there are still so many things that I can't, you know. So like, what do you think? What do you guys want to say like about that?
So I think the thing you said, you're being judged because you're a feminist. I also have heard this thing that you're too feminist. Like, what is too feminist?
Exactly.
I mean, explain me what is too feminist, or you're too sensitive about things. Whenever there is some joke going on, they'll give your disclaimer for Sakshi. Don't start on this now. Don't say this. I said, if it's not wrong, if it's in the limit, I won't. I will also enjoy the joke.
When you were mentioning about, the judgments regarding feminism, so like it was all going on in my head, like feminists, they just say, blatantly state that these are the women who are fighting against the, if we stand against the like reproduction rights, these are the women who don't want children. These are the women who like want to finish the right to life. Like this isn't like when you like confine a woman to just reproductive machine, like what
Yes.
we're just fighting, like we just want to decide when to have a child and when to not, and it's just that. And there was actually a time when my classmates were they said that feminists are the ones who want to color their hair. And I literally colored my hair at that time, and they were like, they went crazy. Gaga, like she is a true feminist because she has colored her hair. Like it's not even like I can do anything without being labeled by them. Like they'll decide for me. And it's just that that as Sakshi mentioned, it happens in every household. My brother is like 6 years younger than me, but when I have to go outside, so like my father will often say that you better accompany your sister, you must go with her, as if he's going to protect me. I'm 6 years older, and like and then I'm like, I know who's going to protect whom. It's just an added responsibility. But it just happens, he doesn't realize it. He just thinks that he's helping me.
Yeah.
This thing just goes on. Like half of the times, you get so immune to it, which is so bad. They label you as someone who's angry all the time. That's the major like label that they're giving you. That feminists are always angry, and I just don't get this feeling because if you hear so much about something and this is a normal reaction. Anger is a normal reaction in such a situation. If you see something going on in front of you, like in such a massive scale, it's the disparity between men and women is the biggest in this world. In every country, in every community, in at every place, is the biggest of all. Like you see casteism is in India, racism is in America, and like everywhere, like you see different parts of the world dealing with different kind of things. But gender disparity is something which every country and all people in the world are experiencing. And I'm anger is like if you don't get angry at such an issue, it's a literal war going on, like between. And women are not the only the biggest misconception is that the feminists are trying to prove female supremacy, which is not true. You don't understand that feminism is also going to help the men. The patriarchy is so bad that it is actually dehumanizing men. In our world, men are made to feel like you're devoid of emotions. If you feel something, then don't cry like a girl, don't run like a girl. Women can't drive. Like you're made to feel things in that order, and like men are dehumanized in such a way that I was mentioning that touching someone inappropriately gives them pleasure. Imagine the condition of a person who thinks that touching a stranger, like if I don't know someone, I only hold respect in my heart for them because I don't know their story. I look at them with respect. And if a man thinks that touching a female inappropriate, or anyone for that fact, and it makes them feel good about themselves, it gives them pleasure, how dehumanizing that is. That this is the thing that gives them pleasure. Like, what is the condition, the state of that man? The problem with the world is that women are caregivers and men are bread earners.
Yeah, yeah.
And this thought
Yeah.
will always be like so harmful for both of them, because there's a like literal pressure on the men to earn money. Just imagine a situation: uh, a man and a woman gets married, and they are they graduated at the same time, and they have the same resumes, and they are applying for jobs, and they've got the job. Now several years later, they decide to have a child. They want to have a child, both of them, and they have a child. So after having a child, a female is always assumed to stay at home because she has the role of a caregiver, and the female herself wants to spend time with her child, and she stays home. That's a different story. She stays home, but the society expects her to stay home. What do we expect out of the man? You have a child. You have to earn money. You must go outside. You must work full time. You have a child now. You have responsibility. How straining that pressure can be for a man, that I have a child now. I have to earn. I'm the breadwinner of the house. I need to earn the money.
But in this, what I feel like is genuinely is something what I really want to say is that this is also a way of kind of like kind of just giving an explanation for being a feminist at times. Like मेरे को ये लगता है, मुझे genuinely ये लगता है कि as a feminist we are overall talking about bringing equality. It's not all of a sudden, like, we want a matriarchal society, not a patriarchal society. It's not that. It's just bringing in basic equality, basic things that we feel like that are wrong in everything. But what I feel like is, in nowadays, feminism is just kind of expected to explain themselves in their also this, that what they stand for, they have to just keep explaining it again and again, that what, it's not just women, it's also for men, like it's also for them, we are also helping them.
Right.
Why to give that explanation? My first concern is that when it started for women empowerment, and when it is about that, it starts from there, it's still not even halfway there to resolve it. So मेरा ना concern वहीं से शुरू होता है कि why can't first we resolve this to go on to something else? Because again the same thing is happening. Again the voice of women is kind of getting like, they're again becoming the caretakers, that just equal, balance it out. You have to think about them also. You have to think about. First, I feel like that, why not just go with the flow? First, resolve this completely. And then, because this is not just this much, equality has so many other genders which we don't even talk about till now, like there's so much
Yeah,
to
it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
we
So
are empowering women because there is a need to be empowered. It's not
correct.
there yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about like leveling the playing ground. I mean, like, it's not about pulling women up more like
Yeah.
above men. It's about pulling
Yeah,
them to the same places they are.
correct.
And I feel that feminists are judged more than other people are judged for not having women at the same, like, have not supporting equality. Like, feminists are more judged than people who are like, we don't want feminism. And we're in like a especially in the digital space right now. I think all this pseudo feminism, Nazi feminism has only come around because there is so much negative digital space coming out, and there's so much misinformation, especially because feminists are judged because of just for the fact of being liberal with their choices. That's all.
Yeah.
Like, it's so difficult for people to understand that a woman can do what she wants without worrying कि लोग क्या सोचेंगे and everything.
Without any explanation, like, can I just choose to stand somewhere like where I want to and voice it up without giving any explanation,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Without being saying that you're too feminist, you're a Nazi. And this is where pseudo feminism comes around because of all these stereotypes. Like,
Correct.
people have, like, suppose the whole, having colored hair thing, or being too sensitive thing, or even having too many strong opinions. I mean, having an opinion about what's wrong or what's right is not strong. It's just normal. It's just
Exactly. So one thing that I really wanted to ask is that when you guys watched Qaid, what was that one thing that, one particular thing that just stayed as a, I don't know, as an emotion, as a, it can be a particular frame that stayed in your mind. It can be anything from just the video. and it can be a particular way that the sound is done by Vida. Like, how? What do you think that one thing just like impacted you the most? Like, oh, okay, like yeah, okay. Prapti, you go.
Um, Picking one thing from that video would be a little. It would be a crime to do. But if I had to, just the actions and the expressions that were portrayed, it was just like they were in the beginning. They were very somber, and they were all the expressions especially, and just defeated. You could sense that, okay, this person is feeling defeated. She knows that there is no escape from this kid, and how could she? And just that was so, like we've spoken about, everything being so normalized, everything being so just accepted, and laissez-faire, as in we just give in to everything. And I think that kind of really stuck with me as to how many women are going through the same thing right now, the same things right now, and they do so without expressing it. They sit there with that defeated expression, and
Okay. Yeah, nice. It's so good to know, the new different perspective. Like if I felt impactful by one thing, but then all of you will have something different. So I enjoy that the most. Okay, okay, Mansi.
Like I mentioned earlier now, like when I watched your piece, so when you were like sad and when you were like hopeless and you were like staring into the blank, something goes on in my mind. Like I'll make up things which goes on in my life. Like this must have happened. Like this must be happening, and she must be going through this, which I have experienced in my life.
Yeah.
But in between when you were smiling at, like that just gives me hope, like if we are trapped in a cage, if we are in a cage, but we can still choose to find happiness in our own ways. And maybe that's what we are trying to do in this world. There are plenty of women who are sad, but we're still trying to fight back and be happy in our own ways. Like it's just like being happy against every odds. They just don't who have put you in the cage, they don't want you to be happy. But still, if you choose to smile, that's like very powerful for me.
Thank
that's
you.
really nice, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Foram, you tell me.
So I think one of the things that really stayed with me and will stay with me is the understanding that this is going to mean so many different things to so many different people. Like when the both of you made it, it meant something completely different to you. But when I watch it, I'm going to watch it with all my experiences and my perceptions as a background. And I think it's one of the nicest things to know. I mean, when you create a piece of art, is that what it means to you is sometimes nowhere near what it's going to mean to other people. And even though you won't know exactly what the other people are feeling, it's just a very beautiful thing to know. And apart from that, like as I told you, like the way it was shot and especially how the music made all of that better is like super.
Yeah. And Sakshi?
All the things, the music, that chunni thing, and your expression, especially, you did a great job, because when I saw that, it just gets you in that zone, where you are thinking about it. You just instantly go in that zone. Yeah, and now
Okay, wait,
after thinking,
Sakshi, will you go again? You got stuck. I think your net is kind of.
अच्छा, okay, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, इससे पहले भी I think.
No, I can hear you. Just it got a little stuck. So if you can just say it again.
Yeah. So the whole thing, the music, that chunni thing you did, the expression, like again, a very amazing job, because when you see that movies, you just get into that zone, like Mansi said, you just can't help but you think, what is she thinking, like what she must have gone through, and you can try to connect it with yourself. And then suddenly when you go on the roof and try to stay happy, and all those things are very beautifully shown. So yeah, it was that
Thank you.
great.
I agree with Sakshi. Like literally, the feel is very nice. You know, it like makes you feel something suddenly. Like, matlab, dekhte hi you feel like you
Yeah.
connect with it. You know, immediately.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is like the best compliment to know that you guys, all of you guys, like, somewhere or the other, the answer always related to being, you felt a little relatable to it. And I think that is what it was kind of, it was made for, or, for people to really relate to it. So that was great. And I actually would like to mention what I really loved the most in this was when. So what happened was, as you said, know what was going on in my mind, because I've been thinking, so much about this, and I have always like been pretty outspoken about it. So when we were shooting this, also, Vidar just told me that all these things that you talk about, just accumulate them together in your head right now, and then just express what you feel. And at that time, this was the most natural reaction that came in my head, that I want to say so much, but I don't know how to, and I don't know who's going to listen to it. And there's so much inside me that was just building up and up. And I think that came out pretty clearly while we were shooting it also. And one thing that was my genuine like favorite was when I got to know that when you make something, and if so when we were making it, it was just me and Vidar at that time, and both of us, we are making the same thing, but there's a difference of perspective regarding what we are making. And what I was like so amazed about was that once the editing started and everything happened, and then edit finished and Vidar showed me the edit, and we both were like, oh, this is like, oh, we are happy with it. And what happened was that he said one thing, which was that, so for him, his perspective of the chunni was like, so my perspective of the chunni and his perspective of the chunni were completely different. But I was so amazed by his perspective of chunni, which was that he said that the chunni stands for men. The chunni stands for men for him. So it's basically the chunni goes away. That means all the cages that are created because of the patriarchy goes away. Like for me, the chunni was a symbol of ghungat. Like in the most simplest way, like because ghungat is something that is a huge cage for a lot of women out there. So basically, Qaid was our way of being able to voice ourselves up and to be able to put it out, in our way, because that's the kind of art form that we are connected to. That's what we want to go ahead with. So this was our way of voicing up through Care that we did. I would like you guys to tell me that if you guys get this one platform of finally being able to voice up, and this is like that one place where, like in the most like in the most what do we say, um in the shortest a one sentence, or like two, like in the shortest way possible, what is the most impactful thing that you want to tell everybody, like?
I have to think.
I think it
Yeah.
would be like just let the woman be, just let her be. Don't try to hold her back. This is this is the this is the thing which connects with everything. Just don't try to hold her back. Let
Yeah.
her be.
Lovely,
In two
lovely.
lines I can.
It's lovely, it is. Okay, anyone else? Forum is thinking, I know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd like to say that just have more conversations with the people around you, and especially ones that are difficult.
Yeah.
Have those conversations, especially have conversations with people from different backgrounds, different because at this point we're having these conversations only from people coming from similar backgrounds, people coming from a relatively more privileged background, and that again gives a sense of exclusivity to this whole movement. We need to we this space as well needs to be more inclusive. Feminism has the scope to grow, and while fighting for the rights of women, we need to fight. We are also fighting for the rights of trans women and trans men. We're fighting for the rights of the entire LGBTQ community, and this effectively also leaves out a lot of the people from lower castes and lower classes that the whole point, even just us having this conversation in English makes it so exclusive.
Yeah.
So these conversations need to be held everywhere in all kinds of languages, and yeah,
being able to reach out. Yeah.
I really like Prapti's point of view. I personally love educating people. Like if someone is going to ask me about something and I have knowledge about it, like I am going try. I will try my 100%. To make him or her understand that.
Yeah.
I always make Akash said. I love researching on topics. I research about almost everything, and I just love discussing things. I just love sharing my thoughts. And if I have to sum it in like 2 sentences maybe, I just feel if we are talking about this issue, uh, that nature has created diversity but never discrimination. It is only us who have created the discrimination. When there are like thousands and lakhs of species in this world, but the nature has never told us that one is greater than the other. Plus, if in general we are talking about, if anything, there are like thousands of issues out there, like so many issues. But if we are fighting for one cause, now you should never put down another cause. You have to go hand in hand. You can't like if you want to eradicate poverty, you can't seem to like make feminist movement inferior and say that we'll take men and women both and we'll eradicate poverty from both of their lives. They can't blame us that you only want to remove poverty from women's lives. It's not like that. Like they should go hand in hand.
They are actually, they are hand in hand. Actually, they are all so connected. Like, all these, what I feel like is that inequality is one basic, issue that we have is common in everywhere, like for example, if there is racism, a black woman needs to be equal to a black man to be able to even say that racism is wrong, or whether it's it's like it's for everything. It's so connected with all the issues that we have that first, it's like a step by step, which I think the people are kind of losing it out, that it needs to get okay step by step, but because we don't get okay step by step, it's just going everywhere, all around. Okay, and Foram, what do you want to, after thinking?
I think that I mean I don't know, I'm just gonna like I don't know. So before my first performance ever on a big stage, I think there was this other dude was performing with me and he told me that 20 seconds of courage is all you need. And like it hasn't just affected that performance of mine, but it's like every time I think about those 20 seconds, I'm like, any decision I make, if I'm unsure about it, like if I think about think for a few seconds and be like, I can do it, I don't have to worry about what's going to happen next. Those 2 lines are just going to like, it just makes such a big difference in every decision I take. Like, so I think
it's a beautiful thought, though. It's such a beautiful thought.
So yeah, it's great. Actually, I'm really happy to hear all this. I think overall, what I really feel like, and like what I would like to say in like one line would be, I think I always believed in voicing up. I think the more we voice up, in agreeing to what Prapti said also, I think it's communication, it's the conversation, and being able to be first accept yourself and accept what you believe in, so that you can actually voice it out, and like make a change in your own smallest, biggest way possible. So on that note, I just want to say I'm so happy that this conversation, this discussion happened with all of you guys. I know we have had these conversations in person, but I'm so happy that we had it together today. So many different, viewpoints that came in, and so many different stories. Thank you for sharing them. It really means a lot. I think it needs to be out there for people to know, and I'm really happy that this is kind of, it's going to go out and people are going to watch this and they're going to see that, that we are just we are like friends we have met, but there's so much that is just still in here, and we can really share it out. We can really change in the smallest way possible we can, at least start. So I'm really happy that, that Qaid happened, and because of Qaid, this happened, and we are being able to share so much. Like, Qaid is sharing so much out loud. We are trying to say whatever we can through it. And over here, I am so happy that through this discussion, we are being able to tell people how we think or what kind of perception there is, because, I think it's really important for everybody to know. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, this is such a nice
Definitely.
conversation.
Yeah.